All right, guys. So, got a bit of a mixed bag video for you today. A whole bunch of things on the go. For the last week or so, I've been working on two videos, and both of those videos have embargo dates, so I can't share them with you till a little deeper into the summer. I didn't have anything prepared, but I wanted to put out a video today, so I thought I'd just show you some of the stuff that I've got in recently for upcoming videos. We're going to be doing two unboxings. One is a micro brand I've featured a couple of different times on the channel now, a new diver from them that looks really nice. Also, a supercar inspired watch. This is one of the most unique watches I think I've ever had on the channel. Something very different that I normally wouldn't wear, but I think will be fun to check out. I've also been on a mission lately to find a good strap storage solution. I did find a pretty good one through Amazon that's quite affordable. I'm going to share with you guys, so we'll get to that here soon. I also just got back yesterday from a trip to visit Gem Bijou. Gem Bijou is a local authorized dealer, and they often lend in watches for me to share with you guys on the channel. So I got a brand new release from Hamilton as well as G-Shock also to show you guys. So gonna kind of wing it today. Things could get ugly, mistakes could be made, but let's take a look at the watches. All right, so right off the bat, we're going to jump into the new releases that I picked up from Sam at Gem Bijou. And the first watch is the Hamilton Khaki Mechanical in bronze. It is a gorgeous watch. The bronze has such a rich tone to it. One thing that I noticed when I first got the watch, when I first laid eyes on the watch, was the bronze actually almost matches the faux patina of the hands and markers. Of course, that bronze will patina over time and that'll change, but it's a really nice look straight out of the box. I think this was a really good call from Hamilton. And I know a lot of companies are trying right now to release different models in bronze versions, and some work, some don't. This one definitely does. I also, while I was at Gem Bijou, picked up a steel version of the watch. So we'll do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison when I do the full video on the bronze version. I expect them to be pretty much identical. They look to be the same in size, so there shouldn't be much difference other than materials, but I'll double check all of that. There is one interesting thing that I read on the Hamilton site that I was kind of surprised about when I was looking up some details on this watch. Apparently, according to their site, this is the first bronze watch Hamilton has ever released, and I just was shocked by that. I would have assumed that they'd have done it before, but good call doing it with the Hamilton Khaki Mechanical. So let's switch things over to the G-Shock. And almost forgot to give you guys a wrist check. I think it looks really good on wrist. My wrist, by the way, is 7.25 inches for your reference. One thing I did notice when putting on the watch, there's one small area where they've done some cost cutting. I'm going to save that though for the full video, so keep an eye out again for that. So let's move over to the next watch. All right, so I want to delay the reveal just for a second here. Some of the G-Shock guys will probably already know what this watch is, but one of the great things about going down to Gem Bijou is the owner, Sam, likes to try to surprise me with really unique watches, some limited edition, hard to find pieces. Watches that I had just never even heard of in a lot of cases, and that is the exact case with this new G-Shock Square, newish G-Shock Square. Check out the colors on that bezel. Isn't that cool? So the story with this watch, and again, I'm just learning this today, is this was actually originally a China-only release, and it's a collaboration with a collectible toy company there. I'm not sure the name. I'll get that information when I do the full video on the watch. It's called the Shanghai Knights, I believe, and I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a China-only release, and they eventually released it to North America just recently, and Sam got his hands on at least one of them. I'm not sure if he has more in stock, but I just thought this looked really cool, fun watch for summer. There is one negative, and that is that negative display. It's got kind of that pink hue to the numbers, and it's a little darker than your normal negative display, so it is a little tricky to read, but otherwise this looks like a ton of fun to wear. And speaking of wearing, let's get this thing on wrist. And here it is, and I'll actually give you the reference number here. It's GM5600SN-1. Retail on it is $349 Canadian dollars. I think it's a pretty neat looking watch. My lighting's probably not set up the best for this watch. You kind of got to tweak the lighting for different types of watches. So hopefully when I do the video on the watch, it'll be a little bit easier to see that display. But I think this is a pretty awesome watch. Okay, unboxing time. Got the Kershaw on duty, and we're going to start with the supercar inspired watch. And it looks like we've got a couple layers to get through here. So this is the brand. The brand is relatively new to me, although when I go to their site, they do have a few different watches. I'm not sure how long they've been around for, but this is one of their newer releases. Now, one thing I will say with this brand, I am not 100%. It wasn't clear from the emails if this was being gifted to the channel or not. So I can't give you the full disclosure on whether this is a freebie or not. I will let you know eventually when we come back to this watch for the video. But I think maybe to play it on the safe side, which I think is the smart thing to do nowadays with everything that's been happening with YouTube, I will have the paid promotion tag at the start of the video, just in case. So there is the packaging, and that is something I've never seen done quite in this manner. I have a whole bunch of garbage beside me here, so I'm going to set this down for 1 second, clean up, and we'll get back to the watch. Okay, so let's see what we've got. And I told you guys this was going to be quite a different watch. This isn't exactly what I was expecting. The only images I've seen of this watch were in a red and black colorway. So look at this thing. I can easily say I've never seen a watch quite like this. Got some plastic going on here. Just get in a little bit closer. And to be quite honest with you guys, I'm not 100% sure how to read the time. I'm thinking this is 8:30 at the moment. Basically what's happening is there's a wheel there. You can see where the 7 o'clock, there's a wheel there. You can just see the 6 up in the top there. And these wheels turn and have a pointer that has different numbers. So when it goes through the side where you can't see through to the dial, there's a little spot in there where it rotates each one of these things as they go around and adjust for the time. There is a video on their website that sort of demonstrates how it works. We'll maybe get the watch fired up here. I believe they're using a modified Miyota movement. The name of the watch, by the way, it's at the top here. It's the Ettore by Atowak, and I believe that is the named after Ettore Bugatti. Not seeing any sort of running seconds, but you can see, or at least imagine how these little hands are turning in this area as it's being spun around. So that's kind of neat. Another thing that's very cool, I just noticed I got dirt all over my gloves here from the packaging, but another thing that's really cool, and again, I'm going to make you guys wait for the video, is this thing looks like it has some pretty cool lume. I think there is lume on the steel part of the case, as well as all of the markers and hands, so keep an eye out for this one. This thing is quite the watch. Again, maybe not what I would typically go for, but I always enjoy looking at the odder stuff. It's a little more interesting than your typical run-of-the-mill divers. It just spices things up here on the channel sometimes. So movement looks to be quite well decorated. I don't know. What do you guys think? This is fairly large watch, but very short lug to lug, I would think, too. I haven't put the calipers to it yet, but we will see. I'll get a little bit of wrist time with it and come back with you guys with a video on it soon. So over to the next unboxing. And again, almost forgot to give you guys a wrist check. So here is a look on wrist. You can see it's pretty tall off the wrist and definitely on the larger side, but kind of a neat looking watch. So these are going to be coming out by way of a Kickstarter campaign, and that is going to start, I believe, on the 15th of July. That's their intended date. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can find their site and maybe sign up for notifications on that Kickstarter campaign if you're interested. All right, so this last company, the last watch we're looking at here, comes from a micro brand that easily makes my top, I would say top 5 micro brands in the last couple of years. They've come out with some excellent watches. And we've got some packing peanuts. We're just going to dump right there. And I'm not sure if you can read that or not, but this is from Second Hour Watches. I actually just got an email from them about the watch with some of the information on the watch, and one thing they did say is this is not the packaging that's going to be coming with the production models. The watch, oh, it's wrapped up in some plastic here. The watch is, oh, and I'm glad they sent me this colorway, is the Giant Stride in blue. Give it a wind. Get things ticking. One thing that's really cool about Second Hour Watches is the detail. There's a lot of detail that goes into their watches. They're also spec monsters. They kind of have everything that we're looking for in a watch, and reasonable pricing too. I am not 100% sure on the pricing of this watch, but we will get that information to you as soon as possible. One thing that I was also reading is they are using a hardening coating on the steel, and I believe it's going to make the steel 6 times harder than typical stainless steel. Really nice looking watch. The crowns, I believe, are both lumed. I have a feeling this is going to be a lume monster. Spec Monster and Loom Monster. Really nice looking watch. We'll get in for a little bit of a closer look at the dial here. Kind of a wave pattern happening on the dial. Inner rotating bezel. I really like the red tipped hands there too. That's a nice touch on all three hands, second, hour, and minute. Good looking clasp. Now this is in the prototype stage. I think this is actually the third stage of prototyping for this watch, so they wanted this thing to be perfect before it comes out. One other little tweak I believe that they're going to be doing is adding one more micro adjust to the clasp. Got a nice solid clasp here. And let's take a look on wrist. And here it is. Really nice looking watch. Nice looking H-Link bracelet. One great thing about this launch is they are actually going to be skipping the whole crowdfunding thing. So no Kickstarter this time. Pre-orders are going to be available in September and they're going to be shipping in October. So it's kind of nice that they can skip that step. I know a lot of companies use Kickstarter and I feature a lot of them on the channel too. But if you can bypass that, it's always a bit of a bonus for sure. So looking forward to getting some wrist time in with this one. So that's the last of the watches today. Let's switch over to the strap case. Now this section of the video isn't just about me showing you this particular strap storage product. I'm actually more interested to hear what you guys do to store your straps. I'm sure there's some cool DIY projects people have done, maybe some particular products out there. I've tried 3 or 4 different methods over the years. This is one of the better products that I've come across, but I'm not 100% satisfied with anything yet. So still very much open ears to any suggestions for some strap storage ideas. But for now, let's focus on what we have in front of the camera here. Now, I've got this still zipped up, and we'll get to the insides in just a second, but you can see it is quite a thick pouch. And the reason being is this actually holds 84 straps. Huge fan of that here. I have a ton of straps. On the top, there is a carrying handle, and I have this pretty well completely loaded with straps. So there's surprisingly quite a bit of weight to it. On the opposite side, there is a zippered pouch here, or a front pocket rather. And I'll just give you a little zoom in on the brand. This brand is brand spanking new to me. I just found them through Amazon the other day. Pack Maxi, and they market these as Apple Watch strap storage pouches. They have a few different size pouches, but I picked the largest one that I was able to find. Decent quality, not the greatest, not the worst, but the price is pretty good at $29. I think it's $29.99 USD. So we'll get it unzipped, and there's 2 sort of sections to the pouch, but we'll start with the first. So in this one, I have some 22 millimeter NATO straps. My one complaint, I will say right off the bat, you can see like on the ends here, it's maybe not quite wide enough for, especially for longer straps. It's not as bad with 2-piece straps, but with the NATOs, here's another longer one where it's extending just a little bit beyond the allowed space there. If we flip the page of the strap book here, I have some 2-piece fabric straps. There's also another zippered pocket here. Flip another page, and we've got some 20 millimeter NATO straps. I'll just unzip the second section. And in here, some 22 millimeter leather straps, a couple of kind of flashy ones there in the upper right. Some 20 millimeter leather straps, and they are held in with this elastic band here. Works pretty good, seems to be fairly solid. And then the last page of the book, so to speak, is some rubber straps as well as another zippered pocket there. So works pretty good. I'm fairly satisfied with it. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. I do have to shout out the gentleman that got me started on the hunt and sort of started me in the direction for this particular product, and that's Jeremy from Time Peace Love on Instagram. Give him a follow. He's about the nicest guy I think I've ever met in the watch community. But he was showing me a product that he uses. He had posted it on Instagram the other day. And I started my search with that particular product and ended up finding this. So I'm really happy you got me pointed in the right direction, Jeremy. Again, give him a follow at Timepiece Love on Instagram. And one last shout out before I let you guys go. Huge shout out to Jody from Just One More Watch for quickly getting his channel reinstated after it was shut down very unexpectedly the other day. I was almost sick to my stomach over the whole situation, so I can't imagine how he must have felt. So I'm really happy for you, Jody. That's it for today, guys. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun just kind of showing you a few things. Look out for the videos on all of this stuff. And at some point in time, look out for a video. I might do a video on some different options for strap storage solutions. I will also leave a link to this product in the description below. That will be an Amazon affiliate link. And the channel does earn a small commission from any orders using that link, even if it's things other than this particular product. So appreciate that. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.